Congregation may be seated. Oh, yes. Bill, Gator, Debbie, Carter, Lynn Hayford. You're good. And Hal, here with you to share about our food pantry ministry, part of our Jubilee family of ministries, and well, I'll let you take it from there.
In a parable in the book of Matthew, the Son of Man says to the righteous, "For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." St. John's Food Pantry doesn't attempt to do all of these things, but we try to take care of the first one in our little part of the world. We do this by preparing boxes of food and giving them to people who come to our door. We have boxes displayed here and invite you to come by on your way back from the communion rail to look and see what's there. There's a list of what's in each box. One is what we call a family box, and the other is for an individual or a household of two. The foods are very similar. There's a little more of some things in the family box than the other one, but you can get an idea. The boxes come from Rob Ashton. We are sorry that he needs dialysis, but we are very thankful that he brings us those very sturdy boxes that his fluids arrive in, and they are the perfect size.
And it's so much more dignified than sending the food home in liquor boxes.
We don't require prior qualification for people who want to get food. After all, Jesus didn't say, "I earned below the poverty level and filled out paperwork and you gave me food." People may come once a month, but this food is meant to be a supplement, not a month's supply of food. Now, our low-tech PowerPoint presentation will be over here with Hal. In 2016, we gave out 395 boxes of food. The food was received by 197 different families or individuals. Of those 197, 10 were regulars. They came at least 8 times during the year, 8 out of 12 months. 54 were occasional visitors. 133 of those 197 came only one time during the year. Can you tell I geek out on numbers?
Hi, I'm Lynn Hayford. First of all, I'd like all my volunteers that help on Tuesdays and Thursdays to stand. These are the wonderful people that have stepped up. And also Paula Wolf comes and gives them a big smile. And I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart that you have given your time. And I hope to see you during the week when we're giving out the food boxes. You may be seated. Also, we have in an age group from 18 or 19, and we have a lady that comes probably once a month that's 82. Usually Ray is there, and he puts it in her little cart, and off they go, but she's very, very thankful. And one thing I have to say about these people, you get all walks of life, but one of the things they always do is say thank you. Not one has not said thank you. And 90% of them say God bless. And that means a lot. Who's next? You.
So where does the food come from? Well, mostly it comes from you folks, one way or another. We collect weekly donations here. As you come into the church at the back, there's usually a basket waiting for food contributions, part of our offerings. For those who don't want to bring it here on a Sunday, we are always happy to accept donations when the church office is open on weekdays. And that's another way. Usually, most every week, we'll arrive at church to pack some boxes, and there is some food waiting to be taken downstairs and sorted out and shelved, and that helps as well. But we also benefit from some really special collections of food. Now, the big one, the really monster one of all, is scouting for food, which happens in the fall, the last couple of years, fall 2016. The amount of food that came in was incredible. It helped stock our food pantry near the end of the year. And I'm going to ask one of the scouts who worked on it, Hal Williams, to tell us a bit about it.
So Boy Scouts will go around to neighborhoods with little bags that have a paper attached to them or just a paper and put it on door handles, asking people to leave out food in one of the bags that we'll come around and collect on a later date. So people leave that out, and then usually a week later, people will come around and collect all the food, and then we'll bring it back to whatever church that food is going to. And then we'll have people stay behind and sort through the food to see what is expired and what's not expired and sort through all the food.
And I want to thank also our adult volunteers who come in with the Scouts, Joe and April Way and Mike Williams, and they're there with a smile and with a bit of extra supervision for the boys and for my good friend Campbell, who helped out sorting the food. Hi, Campbell. Now, scouting for food created a bit of a problem for us, but it's a good kind of problem. It's the biggest single day of donations to the food pantry, and we had boxes of food literally stored everywhere for a couple of months. And it got us through the end of the year and through a fair portion of the first quarter. We also benefited from the annual Lenten food drive, where bags with food pantry needs, and my beautiful assistant here is holding up one of those bags, are made available. And we had great participation from the kids in our Sunday school, as well as many of our other St. John's families. And by the way, while it's seasonal, we always have these bags available. We don't throw them out. We try to reuse them over and over until they get ratty and tattered, then they do have to go out. But if you need a bag to remind you of things we want you to bring in, just ask one of us and we'll find one for you. There's a group up at that meets up at the Theological Seminary called the Other Church, and they wanted a project to help those in our community who are less fortunate. And they collected food for several months. And late in 2016, they brought those boxes and bags over here, Jerome Berg, and we had a nice time talking to him and sorting the food. And again, that helps keep us stocked up. And one other kind of unique event was Leslie Tosler's surprise birthday party. Instead of looking for gifts of things or stuff, Bruce asked their guests to bring contributions for St. John's Food Pantry. And we got 16 bags of food, a couple of checks, a gift card from Giant. And if you don't want more stuff in your house for your birthday or anniversary, helping to help others is a great way to celebrate. Debbie?
But even with all of those food donations, we still spent, we have the cards on there? Nearly $2,700 to fill the gaps in food donations between what we received and the demand of our visitors. And so we raised some money. The biggest fundraiser for our food pantry was Super Bowl Sunday. You'll notice how it's spelled. It's a special collection. It happens on the same day as the football game you might have heard of. But the youth hosted a soup and salad luncheon. People made donations there. We also had pew envelopes. People were very generous, and we appreciate that. We have some regular contributors who write a check periodically. You could put food pantry in the memo of your check, and that money will be designated for our food pantry to fill these gaps. Some people give in honor of someone else. So we're happy to get that money any way you want to give it to us. And Bill is here to tell you how he wisely uses that money.
Okay, wisely. Mostly not at Wise, actually. There are friends here at church who told us about Sharp Shopper out in Leola or up in Ephrata. And this is a sort of different kind of grocery store run by the Mennonites. They buy lots of lots of product. Some of it's what the industry might call distressed product that's nearing its expiration date. Sometimes it's product that didn't sell quite as well as the manufacturer envisioned up front. But we save a lot of money by doing that because we want to make the donations that come in here work as well as they can in terms of being efficient use of the money. We're frugal that way. Also shop a lot down at Save a Lot down here on South Queen Street. And they have a good variety of good prices. And we also look at the circulars from the stores. And if, say, Tuna Helper and Chicken Helper are going for a great sale over at Giant, I'm likely to go in there and wipe out the store's stock for a night because the sales are significant. Debbie, back to you.
And every month we try to have some bonus to give people who visit. We receive toiletries, bar soap, dental health items from people who bring them in. You can bring the ones that come in your hotel room that you don't use. Don't bring any partially used, please. But we are happy to get those little sizes, those little ones. And so we kind of pick a theme typically for each month, and we have a tray, and people can choose from among the things that we have on, out displayed for them during the month. We thank God for all of you who give food, time, money, and prayer to support this vital ministry. Thanks.
Thank you, Debbie, Bill, Al, Lynn, and all our food pantry volunteers for really making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need. You heard about the kind of food offerings that they make, and then reference the smiles that they offer as well. But that only begins to just touch the surface of what happens twice a week at Becker House. The amount of respect and compassion that's extended to these people. They're treated with great dignity, with great care. This is not a handout. This is people caring for people. These are our neighbors. And it's that atmosphere that makes this not just a physical feeding of our friends and neighbors. This is really something that's deep and spiritual. So I want to thank you for that exceptional quality of caring as you extend the gifts from this congregation. Thank you very much. So I invite